what we want to be able to do is to send a message from customer, so this customer microservice, to the exchange, and not from notification to the exchange and then back to its queue, right? We've done that just to test things. Now let's actually send the message from the customer microservice to the exchange. So within IntelliJ, let's together open up the customer module, and then let's open up application.yaml, and in here we need to add in the RabbitMQ address so that we can connect to the correct instance. Now let's open up the main package for customer, and what we're going to do is open up customer application, and right in here let's basically say base, or actually scan base packages, so the way we've done with notification, and this will be com.amigos code. And then if I perform a search, customer, and then I also want, so duplicate that, and AMQP. So there we go. And there we go. IntelliJ was being slow for some reason. The reason we do this is so that we can basically have the ability to inject this producer. Now within customer service, let's say private, and then final, and then Rabbit MQ message producer. And if I put this full screen, so now we no longer need to send directly to notification, but instead, let me just extract this to a variable. And what I'm going to do is, so in here, let's just delete this. And now I can say producer dot and then publish. And the payload will be the notification request. Now at this point, the exchange, so this information lives inside of notification config, and we're going to refactor things a little bit, right? So this information in here lives within, so application.yaml, it lives right here. So exchanges, so all of this information that we need. So we need the internal .exchange and notification queue. So let's just go back to customer service, and this will be internal.exchange. And for the routing key, that will be internal notification and then routing key. So if I put this full screen so you can see what we are doing. So again, we're going to refactor things in a second so that we don't have to basically copy these values around, and we'll centralize these values so that everybody can use it. So now I can delete this because this is what we're doing, right? So adding to the queue, and job done. So also in here, I can see that we no longer need this client, and there we go. Now, if I go ahead and start customer, and also let me start the API gateway as well as fraud. So basically I'm starting every single application. So I already had the Eureka server up and running as well as notification, but now we should have all of these applications up and running in a second. So there we go. It seems that fraud is up and running, and basically what I want to test is this entire flow. So the request goes through the load balancer to customer, and then customer sends the request to fraud to check whether the customer is a fraudster, and then if it's not, it sends the notification to the exchange puts it inside of the queue. We haven't got this side just yet, but we'll get there in a second. So now let's open up Postman and let's send our request. So this is a very famous request to 8083. So this is the port that the API gateway is running. Let's just say send, and always the first request when I restart is really slow, but you can see that it took 3 seconds, but it's a 200 status code. Now, all I'm going to do now is just check whether we have this payload inside of our message queue. So let's open up the RabbitMQ management console and click on queues. We have one message which is ready. Let's just investigate, get messages, and indeed have a look. So this is the notification right here. So remember, you've seen this before. So this is actually stored in the database later, but this is what it's inside of this queue right here. And it's actually ready to be processed by the notification microservice. And that's what we're going to do next.